campuses are completely wireless. And that is a technology that we will depend upon more and more as we bring the new technology in, which is our wireless capability.
Even with that old building?
Yes, sir.
I mean, really, all this is I mean, but it is no building. I'm sorry, I didn't wonder to see that. You know, no building. So I think that we just have to, you know, not lose track of that. Yeah, you know. So, you know, it's a great program. I was reading it. It's a great program. But again, you know, it's a great program if we put it in the right place. Yeah. So again, I know we'll have more discussion on this, and I hope that we have some numbers come to us before anything.
I want to just make a very quick comment that a couple of issues have been brought up about the facility, upgrading the facility. What I would like to do is explore the possibility of again, leasing some of that space to the community college. They're needing a little bit more space on that facility, and through that lease money, certainly cover the utility costs possibly that we could take off of our books, and then maybe put some of that money back into the facility again. I have no idea if they're interested in that, but we certainly would like to, as early as this week, begin to talk to them about that to bring back to you in April. And that's already been mentioned a couple of times.
Mr. President?
I have a couple of questions. The first one is the textbooks, how the textbooks are the kids going to be able to afford that. And the other one is what happens with the state testing of those students.
Yeah, well, our students still do the state testing. We would either test them on that facility, or if it's computer-based instruction, I don't know about working with their labs. By the way, part of the technology we hope in this MOU is that our students would have access to their computer labs too. Now, back to the testing, we would test those kids on the campus, state testing. Textbooks, it depends on the model. A lot of the early college, high school models, the community college actually picks up the cost of the textbooks, which is tremendous value. Now, that I can't know until we get into communication with them. And by the way, the other thing that community college really works with their professors in these programs, if you remember not to change the textbook every year, that way it provides our students the opportunity to use the same textbooks for 3 or 4 years. I mean, it's to their advantage also. The colleges are good about changing edition 1, edition 2, edition 3. No offense to the college people out there, but I just don't, that's very, very expensive for our kids. So it is a concern because these are college-level textbooks. Yeah.
So I just want to just follow back up. I would like to not, I guess, speak in terms of facilities until we know all the answers. I think Mr. Sellers brought out some important questions that we need to find out first. And you know, seems like every now and then the conversation flows like this is a done deal, and now, you know. So, I mean, I prefaced my remarks at the beginning, you know, that this is only a report about this program. It has nothing to do with whether it's going to be. And I think it's important if we are going to consider, you know, the buildings, that we need to consider, particularly a lot of the questions Mr. Sellers asked in terms of updating it or, you know, bringing it up to speed and so forth. And Mr. Bill also brought up the interesting point about those certain facilities are already ready, you know, for high school. And you know, and looking in terms of that, you know, I guess we're looking at where the location would be. Do it have to be next to a college, or can it be within the vicinity? You know, so we look at things like that. I mean, that might, you know, bring the cost down if we have to invest. But I just want to, you know, say, you know, our conversation is about the proposal, not necessarily, you know, it's going to be at Travis or not Travis.
Yes.
And I really want to thank my colleagues for bringing up those questions, because there were a lot of the same questions that I had. And definitely, if we were just to go out and borrow, you know, let's say an average $15 million to bring that facility up to par, I mean, the balance would still not give us enough to make that yearly payment, you know, on a note for 30 years. I mean, so it would throw us out of the ballpark, and that's why it's so critical to see exactly how much it would cost us if we were to redo. The other critical piece, and we've not touched on but slightly, is the community piece, and that's going to be the critical component here. we've got to have buy-in from the community. I'm sure it's a great project. I'm sure it means well. And I know if I were a parent, I would want to jump on this, for my children. But it's going into a very unique community that's really cares for education, and I think we need to ensure that they have buy-in in this whole process, and that we understand. And I'm glad that you put the presentation together, and it means that we want to work with this community. We want to be able to work with all this district, and this tells us a lot of what we need to do. And Sarah, thanks, and Ms. Croft, thank you for putting this together, because it does tell us a little bit about how this whole picture is painted. At least to begin with, it gives us a slight snapshot of what we're headed towards and what we need to be able to plan for as far as costs and what we're going to have to pay out for salaries versus supplies and equipment, and then whatever SAC or whatever entity wants to come in and help us with. But the concept, is definitely good.
I want to just bring out the point that the commitment that ACCD is committing would be $3,745 per student, tuition free, per student for 60 hours. They just passed their new fee, and that's what it amounts to, plus a parking fee. Well, we're not going to be concerned about parking because they won't be driving there. We're going to rely on parent commitment to get them there, or purchase them a via pass. The other fee is textbooks, and we would be negotiating closely with the ACCD community on how those textbooks would be funded and purchased, leased perhaps, continued use for a 3 to 5 year period. This over a cohort group for 100 students. Let's just say we get 100 out of those 125 through in 4 years. That would be $372,500 of tuition that ACCD is waiving for the community, not for just the area around Travis. Certainly those students are eligible, but for all opportunities for all our students from every corner who are willing to get there. It would be over $468,000 if all 125. You heard Mr. Sellers say it's 99%. So ACCD is making a really huge commitment. I have to admit, in some ways, when I plan this, I'm kind of planning it where we're using them too, because our staffing needs would be reduced, because if our core teachers get our kids ready to walk across the street to take Comp 1 and Comp 2, save us an English teacher. And if they're ready to take Lit 1 and Lit 2 as a senior, maybe it's another English teacher. So if they walk across the street and take PE kinesiology classes, we don't need a PE teacher. So they have wonderful lab facilities, whether it's SAC or St. Philip's, those offering to serve our students at Sam Houston in the same way. They already have those facilities there. They have a library. So a lot of our expenses are lessened because they already have those opportunities for our students there. So it makes it a real it's an exciting opportunity for our kids.
It sounds, I mean, it's a good thing. And I just want to make sure that we answer the questions that we have here tonight, Dr. Duran and Mr. Chair, because those are so critical in finalizing this decision that we're going to be making pretty quick. The other thing is